Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh wa Islam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil alamin ar-rahmanir rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Ameen. May Allah Ta'ala bless Prophet Muhammad, the true followers of Prophet Muhammad. May Allah Ta'ala bless Prophet Nubu Ali, alayhi salam, the true followers of the Prophet Nubu Ali, alayhi salam, past and present, alhamdulillah. And I'd like to give on to all true boys, right, who obey the Prophet, who obey the laws as laid down to them by that Prophet, and who follow the Prophet to a destiny that is not uncertain nor unknown. This is the criteria for determining true Moors, right? Not DNA classification, and a lot of things that the renegades. I have to say that, but the renegades and the backdoor crashers, the window creepers, right? The one who disobeyed the prophet tell his people came here to tell us to join the Moorish Temple of America. If you love your race and you have race pride and you have a desire to redeem your race, right, join the Moorish Temple of America, then you will have power, right? These guys is outside the temple, they don't have power, and they really skating on thin ice. See, I'm telling you some good stuff. See, I'm in contact with, certain rulers and certain people who are involved in the judiciary system, right? A lot of them just humoring you guys, man. A lot of them just humoring you, and they feel sorry for you, and they kind of admire you a little bit because you're in the right direction. You're in the right direction, but you're moving, you understand, in the wrong direction, right? You're in the right direction, but you're facing backwards, right? Disobeying the prophet. You think you do this without the prophet. This is a holy and divine process. You non-temple types, man, y'all don't realize, man, that you're criminals. You don't realize that you're criminals. You're interfering in an Islamic reclamationist, an Islamic reclamationist liberation organization, national liberation organization, an Islamic national reclamationist liberation organization. You're interfering. God sent this organization down here. So this is not for non-believers, non-members. What's the matter with y'all? Can't y'all, you just don't believe it because this organization weak, right? Right? It's no military, it's no security apparatus, right? That you don't see, right? But when the word comes down, you see it. You're going to feel the effects of it like we feel the wind, like we feel the atmosphere. We don't see the wind until it kicks us from dust or debris or trash or something, or one of them old plastic bags flying through the air. That's the only time you see the effects of the wind. But I'm telling you, there is a whirlwind to this demonstration. I don't grow tired, when I do grow tired, right? I don't grow tired on my own accord. The Holy One tires me. The Holy One tires. He sends a message to my patients. I'm on a sign of terms, right? We rule patience. Okay, we got that, right? But sometimes when our patients win, thank God, God steps in. Say, look, that's enough. And he goes just like he told Noah, look, get in that ark. He said, that's enough. Get in that ark, right? And I'm gonna send this water there, and if this water come through that oven, I want you to get into the ark. Okay, that's enough. I know you've been preaching to them people for about 70 years, maybe. Some commentators say 120 years. No priestly people, right? 40 years, 70 years, 120 years. But I think 70. I think he preached to people for 70 years. So God said, well, who knows? But those are pertinent numbers in the consciousness. 40, 70, 120. 360, stuff like that. But whatever the number is, God told Moses, Nabi knew, Noah, alayhi salam, said, look, that's enough. When I say you a sign, right, I want you to get up in that ark because it's coming. And the sign was when the oven, Noah was baking some bread one day, right, or his wife was baking some bread and water gushed through the oven when it should have been fire in the oven, And they said, oh my goodness. And Noah came in, the water was just gushing, just coming out of it, just coming out of it. He said, oh my goodness. Okay, grab what you can. Let's go. We got to get it on. That's the sign. Water gushing out the oven, man. Can you imagine that? It's no way, you're probably in a rather dry area, rather dry climate or, area where you live at and everything. Water's very scarce and everything. Like in those days, it did. A lot of commentators and historians say it didn't rain. The earth was so fertile and plentiful. A lot of water came up from the ground. But if you live in an area where water is scarce, except for a well or something like that, you never seen water gush like you did, and so the water gush from the oven, and I know it scared the crap out of Noah's wife, and his family and everything. See water come gushing out of the. You ever seen one of them city fire hydrants turned on? Well, I can imagine it was like that, coming out of the oven, and I love that story. I love the story of Noah and the story of Adam. These are my favorite stories in the Kitab. The story of Adam, the story of Adam's creation, and the story of Noah, and the story of Jonah, right, and the story of Moses, right. When when they gave warning and people didn't heed, and the wrath came, you know. And this is real. I'm talking you NonTemple folks out there, right? You thieves, you criminals. Some of them just outright knuckleheads, man. But I'm talking to you, right? This is real. This is a holy organization. It's an Islamic organization, man. And we're part of the global Islamic direction. Whether you like it or not. Most of it, because a lot of you don't want to be Muslims. That's what it is. See, that's what it is. You want all of the Moorish honors, right? But none of the Moorish faith. What's wrong with y'all? Don't you know that the Moorish honor comes out of the Moorish faith? Huh? This is a total system. Ain't no separation of church and state in this demonstration. Islam is an Islamic way of life. This is an Islamic way of life. This is a real this is the real and true consciousness on the planet. This is came from God. See, there's no separation in Islam from the law, politics, science, you understand? Culture, right? Art, none of it. All that stuff is part of Islam. Islam is a total system. Y'all talk about y'all don't, you want this, but you don't want that. Y'all gotta get out of here. Y'all trespassing and stealing. It's the children's bread. Same bread for dogs, unbelievers. What you Masons call it, Cowans? Because that's what a lot of y'all is. A lot of y'all bunch of darn Masons, man. All up in that Kool-Aid and everything. Nibbling on the children's bread. Stealing. Yeah. The record couch, the record, I'm talking about the record. The record likens you type people to swine. Casting the children's bread to swine. Or no, dogs. Casting the children's bread to the dogs. Some scripture is swine. The one that's out here who's stealing, wearing tattoos and messing, fashic, shameless behavior, usually homosexuality, right? And this is a righteousness process. This is a holy divine holy, divine righteousness and goodness, all this kind of stuff. Ain't no homosexuality in this demonstration. Drinking and drugging and carrying on. Going to casinos and stuff like that, hanging all out the street all hours of the night. Eating things contrary to what God said for us to eat and drink. You understand? Yeah, and a lot of you guys are doing that. And you don't even, a lot of y'all don't know where that tattoo, where that ink come from them tattoos y'all putting all over your body. These permanent tattoos, you understand, that you're putting all over your body. Because it's a fad, because everybody else is doing it. Because you think it's something slick, right? You think it's a fad. You think, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. That's why you're doing it. You don't know where that mess come from or what's in it. See? Come from being hardy, cut your hardy. You get tossed by any wind that comes. They toss you. Because, you're not firm. You're not focused. You're not being God in this messenger. The messenger he sent to us. This is a process that leads up to the dean. More science, you understand me, was sent down here for us to free ourselves, to free our minds, right? To free our hearts and everything from our sinful ways and from ignorance, right? Which is a deeper depth. In Islam, it's called kufar. That's really bad. To be ignorant. To ignore what is. To ignore what was, is, and evermore shall be. To ignore the truth. To ignore God's word. It's kufar. It's ignorance. Isa Islam used to always say, there's no deeper death than ignorance and unbelief. See, an Islamic term for that is kufar. Prophet Muhammad came on the scene, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and called that condition, called that predicament, kufar. Allah, everything Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, Allah told him to say it. Or Allah himself said it through him. Instead, God said to ignore the truth is kufar. And that's really bad in Islam. Right? Person who's kufar, check this out. You're ignoring the truth, you're ignoring the laws and everything, the voice of God, which is through the prophet, and you ignore the laws and regulations of the prophet, right? And you think you're all right. No, you're not, man. You're criminals. You're criminals. And you know what? A group is going to rise among us, man. They're going to be playing with y'all. They're going to be playing with y'all. I'm going to tell you something. These boys going to tell you one time. What I'm seeing. This guy's going to tell you maybe once or twice. And they're going to deal with you, man. They're going to deal with you, Islamically. Islamic, legally, Islamic legal way. The Islamic legal way. They're gonna force Sharia on you. You're interfering in the Muslim organization. You perpetrating a fraud. That's what you're doing. The prophet telling you to join the movement to help, to assist him, uplift fallen humanity in the movement. And you chumps out, trying to come in through the window. And you know what? According to the divine constitution bylaws, we're supposed to know the character of every Moor. Because Moors are Muslims. Y'all keep saying this Muslim stuff. I mean, yeah, the prophet said that, but that's for first and second generation. You can't find Muslim, Mohammedanism, you understand, or Islamism in the Holy Quran, which is the foundation of the Warsaw Temple of America. It's in the foundational document of the Warsaw Temple of America. You need to understand that and stop being so stubborn and fixated and hard-headed. You think this move's supposed to stay like it is? This is an evolutionary organization. This organization is supposed to evolve, spiral upward in Islamic development to perfection. The same thing like perfected man, the temple of perfected man, this whole organization, this whole movement is supposed to evolve into a bona fide Islamic National Liberation Movement. Y'all just hard-headed, see. You don't want to bow to the force of the better argument, and that makes you ignorant. That makes you kufar. And you kufar, you're in the way. If you kufar, you're an enemy. Check this out, not only to us and the movement to you, but to yourself. There's no deeper death than ignorance and unbelief. Easter, Jesus Christ lays life to say that all the time. That's a serious demonstration. Y'all hard-headed, man. Y'all think y'all know more science. Well, I only hear to the science. You don't know what the heck you talking about. Make excuses. Lying to others and lying to yourself. You know more science, huh? Okay. You know more science, all right. I bet you can't even tell me what is the central literary device used in chapter 26 of the Circle 7. Okay. What is the central or primary literary device that is used in chapter 26? And if you can't tell me this right now, you understand me? And then you're going to tell me probably a week later, that means that you're going back to see, because you really don't know. As a matter of fact, the question I'm posing to you is foreign. See. How the heck are you going to know the science and you don't know the doctrine? You see why we're so weak? And I want to introduce a new word into our lexicon. I think it's pertinent. And I'm not being vulgar. Okay, I think this term really hits home of mediocrity. Mediocrity is it's too dainty. It's too highbrow. Mediocrity, mediocre. No, we need the word punk ass. You understand? To replace mediocrity. Punk ass. See, a lot of y'all punk ass. Say punk ass leaders. You understand me? Punk ass teachers. You understand? But let me tell you, ain't no punk asses in this slum. That's why a lot of y'all don't want to be Muslims. See, we ready. Look, let me tell you something. This is the truth, man. It's a wonderful blessing, and we're ready to die. Those of us who love the truth, we're ready. Bye. Ain't nobody gonna just throw your life away, right? Come on, don't play. We ain't playing. I'm just saying, we prepared to die for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the truth and what it means and what it stands for. The truth is from God. That's why the Muslims are so crazy about it. Muslims love the truth. Love it. You understand? Especially when you take them to that Holy Quran and show them, right? And make them truly understand what you're talking about. Let them know that you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. Let them know that a lot of stuff that they have in their mind about what you're saying ain't nothing but angles. See? They ain't nothing but angles and artifices, you understand me, contrivances, you understand me, tools of intellectual and scientific obstruction. See, a lot of them don't know that, see. You gotta study the language here. You gotta get the, see, you say the language and all that, but when you start studying the language and all that, then it contradicts with something called historical continuity. You understand? Historical continuity. Thematic universe. You understand me? Relationships. See? Context and thematics. Yes, you can't get around it. I tell you, one example of historical continuity is the triangular, transatlantic, African-centered enslavement trade system, the horrendous African-centered, triangular, transatlantic enslavement trade system, right, happened after the hadiths were written. They're not covered in hadiths. This is a horrendous worldwide crime that was committed against African people, against the Moors, after the Moors fell from power, right? They were defeated in a series of wars all up and down, all up down the Atlantic. right? And in Africa, and in Europe, and in the Mediterranean, and then their children and everything got sold into slavery and everything. But that was horrendous what they did. They took these people's minds and stuff from them. And you don't mess with nobody's mind, man. The mind or the heart, man. You go to Jannah. I mean, Jahannam. You go to hellfire. Mess with people's mind, mess with people's hearts, stuff like that. They don't. These are really bad things to bother with in human beings, especially the heart. See, that's our laws. See, you break somebody's heart on purpose to cause some kind of treachery relating to the heart, man. I don't know. I lost. He's he's the judge, but based on a lot of things that we know and what we learn and everything, the Holy One put your hand, Holy One, dip your hind paws in that fire for messing with people's hearts. You understand? That's his. Well, anyway, what I want to talk about is, the temple guys, man. Y'all during mine, man. You're out your mind, because you know why? Because you really don't know. See, a lot of it, then some of you really do know. See, that's some of you really do know. See, and these are ones that that we got our eyes on. You know, you think we don't see you? You think we don't smell you? You think we don't hear you? You think we don't feel you? Right? You think we don't sense you? Right? And we ain't worried about you. We ain't worried about none of y'all. None of you. Because you don't know what's going on. You don't know. You don't understand the latent powers of this organization. I do. I don't know them all, but what I've been looking for in the last 15, close to 18 years. I'd say about it, close to 20 years. I'm gonna say 18 years. Last 18 years, man, I've been concentrating on where these power at in this organization, in this demonstration. What we supposed to be doing politically, right? This organization ain't nothing to play with, man. You understand me? This organization ain't nothing to play with. And I'm not even going to touch upon the political. More science. More science has been politicized since 1978. That's all as far as I'm gonna go with it. But more science has been politicized. The resurrection al-Qiyamah is political. The basis of it is political. Political Islam, right? And y'all don't know this. You don't understand. Some of y'all just who are innocently ignorant, right? But those of you who are not innocently ignorant, right? You're enemies. You're enemies to yourself. You're enemies to God. Enemies to God. Enemies to the prophet. Enemies to the things that the prophet set up. The movement, giving us a bad name. You're not Muslims, and so if you're not Muslims, you're not living like Muslims, then you're not doing Muslim things. So you're giving us a bad name. See, you're a darn pig. You understand me? In the lamb's clothing. You're a pig. You understand me? In sheep's clothing. You're a pig in the lamb's clothing. You got the children's bread all around, crumbs and that's all around your mouth. And you're really eating crust. You're not really eating, the real center of the bread. You're eating the crust, eating that hard crust right there, think you got something. Call yourself Moors and everything. You've been blessed by the prophet. You don't even realize that both ill and bad are watered by Jesus Christ. If you know the science, the ills and bays are awarded by the prophet. Alhamdulillah. You don't know what you're talking about. Listen to these fakes and frauds and agents of the Red Shield Group. These people are bad. They're probably the baddest players on earth, but they're going to fail. They're going to lose. They lost already. They don't even know it. people going up against God, they losers. They losers coming right out the gate. They losers in the planning stage when you go against God. You planning against God, you planning to lose because he is the only invincible one. You guys out your darn minds, man. And let me tell you something. I'm warning you. I'm not tired of warning you. You know, the Holy One has not burdened me, right, with warning you. You know, see, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Most High Temple of America. You understand me? I don't want to see no ill will to anybody, right? I really don't. But if the Holy One puts it in my heart to grow a word, you know, it's coming. You know, I ain't saying no more. It's probably coming. Probably, you know, well, I don't really know, but probably don't come in my lifetime. Might come right after I leave. The Holy One probably don't want to put me. Let me see it. Let me see it. Because I really don't want to see y'all, you know, get demonstrated on what's going to happen. Keep it up. You know, keep it up. Wake up and find yourself in the garage somewhere in front of 5 rifles. It's a real possibility, you know. You know, get the cover, pull off your head, and you know, surrounded by you're a makeshift courtroom. You know, can happen. It happens in Africa, right? Happens in Mali, right? They have Islamic justice courts, man. They don't care about what the oppressors or the dominant power in society say. You understand me? They got to obey God's law, and they're judging according to God's law. Y'all don't believe it. See? Y'all don't believe it because you got a bunch of softies in this organization. Really, they're Christians. They storefront Christian people. See, you are what your ancient forefathers were without a contradiction. You can tell a tree by what its fruits, right? These people, they storefront church folks. They don't want, they're supposed to be building masjids. They're supposed to be practicing Al-Islam. They're still singing improvised Christian songs again. They don't even know why they stand up with 5 on, 5 on the left and 2 on the right. They can't explain this demonstration to you, right? I was summoned back to, because I left the temple for 19 years. I was gone for 19 years, man. I just got fed up defeating people in argumentations, wanting to fight again, want to fight me, right? So I say, well, look, I'm gonna do an Abel on you. You understand me? Did you guys know that Abel knew that Cain was gonna kill him? Abel, I built, Cain and Abel, I built, Habil and Kabil, right? Cain and Abel, alayhi salam. Abel, you understand me, knew this brother was gonna kill him, but in order to keep the peace, check it out. Kalbul Salim, he had a heart of peace. Kalbul Salim kept the peace. You understand me? And he knew his brother was going to hit him upside the head and cause a hemorrhage and lose life and everything. Right? And, he went into prayer, he rode into paradise off his brother's crime. See? It's a win-win situation. He didn't lose. It's a win-win situation. Kept the peace on earth, right? And got rewarded for it. He lost it, he, quote unquote, he gave up the earthly life and he inherited paradise. Jannah Dal Firdaus. And somebody who thought they were doing something slick. See. Jumping out there in front of the prophet. All jealous of Abel and everything because, because the Holy One chose, he was a young brother too. The younger brother. But he was good. He was righteous. You understand? He obeyed God. That's the hit right there. You got to obey God. Got to obey God and his messenger. That's what Allah sees. And everything, y'all can't see it. You can't see it because you don't want to see it. It's a powerful, these are supreme words of the Prophet Islam. all true Moors will and must obey the laws as laid down to them by their prophets. See. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something about me, right? I don't fool with a lot of people in the temple, right? Because I'm just too advanced, right? And I'm not saying that big-headedly and all. I know my lessons, man. I don't know it all, but I know my lessons, man. I know this process. I understand this field, okay? I understand this field. And thus far, more so than anybody else, except Timothy Dingley Islam. Because when I got into Timothy Dingley Islam, I got into his psyche. I got into his process of how he was looking at this, looking at the doctrine, the more science process. You understand? And I don't know if I should say this or not because y'all a bunch of damn thieves, man. This is the children's bread. This ain't for no dogs, man. It's not for swine. Y'all people, how people curse. There are blessings and curses. You read it in the law, the old law, Deuteronomy. There are blessings and curses, man. People curse. Don't want to be God. There's a slave class in this country. Because you don't want to be God. So you come out and you tell people, especially down here, downtown, you tell people come on out and vote and everything, come together so we can take care of this, come together so we can stop this. And don't nobody want to do nothing. So you get what you get. Nothing. Done. For you. See. And I'm going to tell you something. Y'all curse me. You are cursed. You dissipate profit. You curse yourself to shame and disappointment right now because you talk about the signs and everything, and you can't even answer the question that I asked pertaining to chapter 26. What kind of prophet Noble Drowley is? Can you define his intellectual, scientific, or even religion's forte is Islam? Can you define his scientific and intellectual forte? His specializations. Can you define them? Can you pinpoint them? See, you listen to a bunch of liars. That's what you listen to. You listen to a bunch of liars, cowards, and agents. You understand me? We're going to get punished in this world and in the hereafter. But this is real. The lamb with 7 horns and 7 eyes came to us. That's the prophet Noble Drowley of Islam. Nobody else. This thing is deep. It's holy. It's real. And a lot of y'all in trouble. A lot of y'all in trouble. Playing with this thing. Playing with Allah's mercy and grace in the earth. Mercy and grace. Check this out. Mercy and grace, man. Mercy and grace, right? These are attributes of the heart, man. Did you know that? Mercy and gracefulness are attributes of the heart. The heart of what? The heart of righteousness, the heart of love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Mercy and grace. Love, true peace, freedom, and justice is tempered by mercy and grace. It's 7, really. Love, true peace, freedom, and justice, grace, and mercy. So you open up that guitar, grace and mercy. What's in between it? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Well, you'll find out. Y'all find out, right? Y'all find out. You want to make somebody laugh? Just tell them you know more science. Tell me you know more science. Tell them you know more science and you still say it's Muslim. You want to make somebody who really knows this process laugh. Tell them you know more science, and in the same breath you turn around and say Islamism or Mohammedanism, right? Or can't explain why you got 2 fingers on the right and 5 on the left, standing on a 45-degree angle. You can't explicate that. You can't explain that, right? We would say, then you make somebody laugh, somebody who knows this process. Because you know, on top of you're a damn joke. It's not vulgarity. Damn, I mean condemn. You're condemning yourself when you lie to yourself and others. But primarily when you lie to yourself, you condemn yourself. How the heck you know more science you ain't in the temple? How the heck you know more science? You despise the prophet, Lisa. You despise the prophet, and you know darn well you despise God. Bunch of despicable ingrates, man. You don't appreciate grace and mercy from God. The prophets, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us those 5 messages, right? Yeah, we haven't told 5 messages, man. 3 prophets and 5 messages. I mean, 2 messages, right? 3 prophets and 2 messages came to us, right? And you guys are disobeying them. You're ingrates. You're despicable ingrates. Prophets are sent as a result of grace and mercy, right? The foundation of grace and mercy is love. How are you going to show grace and mercy if you don't have love in your heart? Y'all out your minds, man. Would you be like me now, Shaitan? Rajim, Bismillah, Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Alameen, Rahman Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. May Allah Ta'ala grant us a deep understanding. May Allah Ta'ala grant us a peaceful heart so we can stay out of trouble. And may Allah Ta'ala guide us to a way that is straight, right, and correct, and true, and enlightening for us. May Allah Ta'ala give us a deeper understanding of the more science process. And may Allah Ta'ala make our hearts amenable, pliable to bending toward obeying Allah and His messenger, the messengers that He sent to us. And make people understand that more science is a process that leads up to your path, that leads up to the deen, which says a lot in itself. Say, a process was sent down here for the descendants of people who have underwent a global, horrendous crime. We're victims of a horrendous global crime. Because the world first, did you, how many of you knew, how many of you know, I'm still in my dua. How many of you knew that, the triangular transatlantic African-centered enslavement trade system was the world's first global commerce? According to, a lot of authoritative commentary, say that, Some people dispute that, but I believe it. I mean, I believe it. It's the world's first global commerce. I mean, on a global scale. I believe it. I haven't really gotten into it, but because I'm into other things. But I've kind of like skimmed a lot of it. Superficially looked at it. And a lot of my superficial sightings, right? A lot of things I've seen superficially, leads up to the fact that it was the world's worst global, first and worst global commerce, right? And without breaks, see, they had breaks. There've been a lot of attempts at global commerce, but they had breaks. But this has been continual, since since 1556. Maybe 10 years after the fall of Granada, right? But may Allah Ta'ala Give us a deeper understanding of more science. May Allah Ta'ala give us an appreciation of the Prophet Noble Drew and the message that the Prophet Noble Drew brought, because the message that the Prophet Noble Drew brought is for the descendants who were of the victims, right, of the most horrendous episode of human trafficking and degradation and humiliation, human humiliation and degradation on the planet. Right, and that is the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nations of North America. Right, I mean, and y'all just gotta stop playing. Y'all gotta stop playing. Y'all, that's what you're doing. You're playing around. This is serious, right? When the miles wide open was, y'all find out. They come up in there. They come up in that discipline, sharp, shiny, and everything. And during the prophet day, the prophet say the best Moors in the church. That's what the prophet said, Islam, no Drali, Islam. Timothy Dingle Hill said, the best Moors would be right here if they wasn't so hot. You know. But I know where the best Moors at these days. Right? It's not the church. You know. Best Moors not in the church. Not these days. Right? It's where that. And where these best Moors are, I think this is where a huge bulk of the eyes wide Moors gonna come about and they gonna be playing with y'all eyeballs, man. They be playing with those punk asses, right? It's not a vulgar term, don't take it that way. I rather use that. I would like for that term to be used rather than mediocrity or playing around. No, punk ass leadership, right? Half stepping, scared, mediocrity, all this in there, in punk ass, but it's a little more intensified when in the African American, the Asiatic American lexicon, right? When they use the word ass at the end of a word or a description, right? It's a triple emphasis. It's a pronoun. It's a triple. It's what they call it? Is it an adverb or pronoun? It's an adjective, right? It's a triple emphasis. Punk ass. That means really, really bad. Or they might say big ass. That means a really big. Example. That big ass head. You see that big ass head? That means he got a very, very, very big head, right? Sorry ass. You might hear Asian say, "Well, sorry ass." That sorry ass man. That means he's really, really sorry. He's triple sorry. It's a triple emphasis when you put ass. When you adject ass onto the word that you're describing. Punk ass. I want punk ass to substitute mediocrity. See? Well, that's what I want, but I'm not letting you beforehand right now. I'm not being involved when you might hear me say it. Right? Mufti Mink get on me, but I say, if I knew the man, I really would like to meet Mufti Mink. Saudi brother, grew up in Africa, Zimbabwe. I know he probably frown on it, but we deal with some folks over here, Imam, that throw trash on the ground, right? Pull a knife on you, try to, give them counseling, right? So, we can't be playing around. Can't be playing around with these people. Can't let nobody hurt you. I understand having compassion and all that kind of stuff, but you have to sense it. Some people could take your passion and stuff for weakness and everything, and try to get stuff out of it because you're passionate, because they see you're religious and everything. You're righteous and everything. You gotta watch that. You got people who dogs and pigs. That's what they are, dogs and pigs. You understand me? You know, stray dogs are really, they evil, they docile till they get something, but they can't find it, they growl at you. And pigs, they don't look up where their food coming from, But, you have people who have attributes likened unto dogs and pigs. You know, it really saves a lot when people who curse every 3 words come out their mouth is a curse word, or throw trash on the ground when the trash can 2, 3 feet away. And when you say something to them about it, you know, even in the mildest form, they're gonna get mad at you and might pull a knife on you, depends on who it is. You know, that's why a lot of people really don't say nothing to these people stuff that especially like these folks downtown, the metropolitan areas, right? Because a lot of them want to level the beast. They move off the instinct. They're satisfied, the impulses and everything. And that's the way they brought up too. The parents beat them every time. Don't do this. Did I tell you not to do that? Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. I'm gonna bang you. Stuff like that. And children grow up learning violence. You know, the first thought comes to their mind in problematic solution is to ball up your fist and strike something. You know, that comes from the way they're raised. This mess comes from the plantation. You know, how the taskmasters on those plantations back. That's right. It's still in the people. Because they're hardy. A lot of them hardy here to say. They do it to themselves. They don't listen to admonishment, instruction, right? Then they bring a lot of stuff on themselves. And a lot of them are bad folks now because their entertainment and everything is being influenced by bad folks. See, putting all kinds of subliminal suggestions in the entertainment and culture venues and everything. So that's why a lot of them curse it. Curse. You hear the music. You hear the music. People's art form are a mirror of them. It's a scream or an attribute of them. Cursing and talking all kind of trash, talking about hurting people in the music. In the entertainment. And the music, our music relaxes you, make you feel good. Our real music, it relaxes you and makes you feel good. It's not a poison. As real as it's an antidote. It's medicine. If it relaxes you and everything, lowers your blood pressure, makes you want to have a good time, right? Makes you want to be positively sociable. When you listen to a lot of this stuff today, man, you want to fight, or you want to, you want to go, holler at your friends. You understand me? You want the other, different parts of society, you know, and we got to understand that. We deal with our people down. You got to take all that consideration. You can't just come down here blindly, want to naivete like that, because you have circumstances today. We got a set of rules that's ruling over us now, man. Man, they make the palpable order look like romper room, man. These folks that are ruling over top of us today, right? Read what I give you a hint. Read what Ariel Sharon said about America. I don't know who Ariel Sharon is, right? That's a seed right there. Ariel Sharon, right? Find out who is Ariel Sharon and what he said about America and its relationship to political Israel. See, well, I gave it to you. Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me because I had no intention on giving it to you like that. His name was enough. Well, I guess I understand. I understand. Right. I've been uh, I've been teaching for a minute, man, since I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old in 1987. Right. And even though I had periodic bouts with cocaine, I'll tell you, I used to be cocaine addict. I had periodic bouts with cocaine. I thank God for making me allergic to opiates. Right, couldn't do opiates. Thank goodness, because when you need opiates, it hurt you. you it hurt you really bad. And I thank God for making me allergic to it. That I wouldn't touch it because it made me sick, break out in hives and nauseous for days. And but I used to have periodic bouts with cocaine. I shook it, I asked the Holy One to take the cigarettes from me. If you pray to a lost dependent who I die, make earnest do it. He'll answer your prayer. You know, stop drinking and drugging, but I couldn't stop smoking, man. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you stop all those other bad things and you still smoking, you're in relapse mode. Nicotine is a drug. Nicotine is a drug. And G. Edward Krupp, the Surgeon General, he's the one that started that firestorm litigation against the tobacco companies when he said that nicotine is just as addictive as heroin and cocaine. See? And he opened floodgates, the legal floodgates of litigation toward the tobacco companies. See, a lot of people probably don't know that, but G. Edward Krupp, Surgeon General, the uncorrupt and courageous Surgeon General, I think it's C. Everett Krupp or G. Everett Krupp, and he told it like it was. He told the truth about nicotine, right? Well, anyway, I stopped everything, but I couldn't stop smoking. And if you like to smoke, you're not gonna stop. And I like to smoke. That's why my voice is kind of raspy because heat burned my vocal cords, damaged my larynx and stuff like that. And that's why my voice, sometimes my voice will get a little raspy. I sound like Fred Sanford, right? So when y'all say I sound like Fred Sanford, then he started calling me Fred Sanford. I said no, that's not my name. My name is Muhammad Ali, right? Well, anyway, yeah, we pray to God. God answers prayer, man. God is so wonderful and kind and loving. He wants to see us do very well in this life and the next life to come. But we have to, have to obey Him if we want that, And you brother, you NonTemple folks, right? You out of order. You trespass. You trespass. You're fasik. It's an Islamic word, fasik. It's shameless. Fasikhoon. Fasikhain. You understand me? Shamelessness. Fasik. Shamelessness. A lot of these effeminate gay folks, man, they acting simple and everything. Fasik. That's fasikhun. Those who are shameless. Fasikhain. These who are shameless. These are shameless. Those are shameless, Fasikhun. And y'all walking around here saying y'all more, calling yourself Moors and everything. You disobey the prophet. Think you know more science and everything. Don't even know the criteria for being a true Moor in this era of time, in this dispensation. As a matter of fact, the Moors have always been classed as an Islamic African people who came out of Africa by way of Morocco and the Rock of Gibraltar. The Moors were always considered Islamic Africans, right? Stop making excuses. Listen to these atheists, and among these Masonics and everything. A lot of these Masonics are atheists, man. They don't really believe in God. Not really. Get listen to them. Tony Browder, one of them. Yeah, I mentioned his name. I talked to him on some years ago over here on WAA at Morgan State Radio in the 80s. I think it was the 80s, yeah, the early 80s. Tony Browder. Well, knowledgeable, bro. I'm not saying anything too bad about him, but I disprove, some stuff he be saying about religion. You understand? Because he can't prove it. He can't prove it. What he say about Jesus Christ? What he say about Muhammad? When he say about religion, period, he can't prove it. None of that stuff. This is conjecture. It's opinion. That's his opinion, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. These Afrocentric scholars and everything, they ain't nothing but indirect more science. That's what it is. See? They just catching up with us, and they get upset when you say that, because it's true. This consciousness ain't come from you all. Darn well it didn't come from you. You skirted around the prophet anyway. Talk all this old kind of stuff. Because all y'all got Negro, black, and color on your record. Don't you? Ben Yakanam, all y'all got Negro, black, and color on your record. You classed as Negro, black, and color in Ethiopia on your records. And you talk all this trash about the prophet. All y'all gonna pay for this being the prophet and talking trash about the prophet. All y'all gonna pay for that. Everybody that's out in front of the prophet gonna get burnt. You don't believe it? Okay. Keep on living. Have a good evening, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala continue to hopefully guide you aright. Make you guys see the light and come around and obey Allah, this messenger. Okay? May Allah Ta'ala bless your children. Nonetheless, bless the children. They're innocent. They have nothing to do with what's going on right now. But may Allah Ta'ala bless our children, make them good children, give them good parents, and make them go all the way through school, get great A's and everything, and grow up to be successful adults, human beings, get married and also have fine children, fine obedient children, and have a good and wonderful life. Just like anybody else would want to live a good and wonderful life. Okay. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I mean.